Ombudsman Commission disappointed with Parliament. Rundown properties in prime land to be rehabilitated. And Hunters announced squad for 2022. Good evening and welcome. This is Thursday's news. I'm Kilawani. The Ombudsman Commission says Parliament had delayed the passing of key changes to its governing laws. The government watchdog and anti-corruption says it is disappointed and that the changes would ensure the Commission meets constitutional responsibilities. Rayon Lakingu reports.
The Ombudsman Commission's legislative review project was tabled before Parliament last week. This was for the Parliament to pass key changes to enabling laws. However, this was delayed. Speaking to the media yesterday, Chief Ombudsman Richard Pagan expressed dissatisfaction over the delay.
We urge you to look at the amendments that we have brought to your attention, because there is no deterrent in any of those provisions except the only one that I have mentioned. Rest of the amendments in there are to enable us effectively perform our duty. There's nothing that is detrimental to you. There's nothing that is adverse to anyone, but help us deliver the kind of service that the people want.
The legislative review project began in 2013 when it was identified as one of the government's key priorities for the Commission, and it was the first review of the enabling legislation since its inception in 1975. Extensive consultation processes were also carried out to ascertain views of stakeholders and the broader community on how best to reform the legislation. According to the Chief Ombudsman, the laws are designed to ensure the Ombudsman Commission is best placed to meet its constitutional responsibilities going into the future.
These amendments have been brought in after 47 years, and we are going into our 48th year. We don't know whether there will be another amendment if this kind of perception is going to be in with the members of Parliament. This kind of perception, seeing Ombudsman Commission as an entity that is always going against them.
The Chief Ombudsman further adding that it is a significant project for the Commission and the country. This is because corruption has evolved over the years and is affecting the society. And institutions such as the Ombudsman Commission must also be equipped with effective laws to combat this growing threat.
If this government wants to go out and campaign on the platform of corruption, there is two provisions that they can say, yes, we have, this government has fought the corruption by making laws and creating ICAC and helping Ombudsman Commission to fight corruption.
Rayon Lakingu National, EMTV News.
The PNG Accident Investigation Commission is investigating two separate aircraft accidents in Tekin, Sandan Province. These pictures of the crash were posted on social media. The latest news came after the AIC was notified yesterday morning by New Guinea Aviation Limited that a landing accident had occurred in the area with another PAC 750 aircraft. Chief Commissioner Hubert Namani expressed concern about the safety of travelers and the Tekin community after it was revealed that the two accidents happened in a space of 9 days at Tekin and with the same operator. The airstrip has been closed for on-site investigation to be conducted. The Airport Investigation Commission has recommended to the Civil Aviation Safety Authority to prohibit operators from operating fixed-wing aircrafts into Tekin until the airstrip is deemed safe for such operations. The National Housing Corporation will conduct a massive renovation drive for all its prime but rundown housing properties in Port Moresby. This includes renovation work on the 3-mile Red Cross flats, NBC flats at East Boroko, and 4-mile hostel adjacent to the old PIH hospital.
Work has already started at some of the rundown NHC properties, including the 4 allotment comprising of 16 units at Manu Outer Port in the Moresby South electorate. Since November 2021, the renovation team took down badly rotten timber walls, old louvers, fly wires, window frames, and other interior structures of the building, which have not been renovated for at least 3 decades. The renovation drive is aimed at providing affordable homes for average income earners. Housing Minister Justin Chechenko says he is pleased with the progress of the renovation work done at the Manu Autoport flats. He is optimistic contractors will deliver within 5 months. Meanwhile, NHC Managing Director Henry Mokono says the multi-million Kina flagship project would be the Duran Farm Housing Project, where over 2,000 affordable homes are to be built. Thakla Jogo, National EMTV News.
Direct grants have been identified as real issues affecting the National Housing Corporation office in Lae. NHC Momase Regional Manager Andrew Augui made these remarks during a visit to Lae by NHC Managing Director Henry Mokono. Augui said people have been obtaining land titles from the Lands Department, but property titles belong to NHC.
NHC Managing Director Henry Mokono led a team from the NHC head office in Port Moresby to Lae for a 4-day visit in the Morobe province. While in Lae, preliminary discussions were held on putting in place a development plan for affordable housing for public servants, not only in Morobe, but in the Momase region. The state of the NHC office in Lae is the same for NHC properties in the province. It is old, run down, and needs renovation and a proper database to store all files. Managing Director Mokono committed funding and logistics to the regional office to increase its capacity to carry out inspections and collect rentals. The visit to the Lae office is the first regional visit undertaken by the Managing Director in 2022. Thakla Jogo, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. More stories after the break. Welcome back to the news. Problems associated with law and order is here to stay, but efforts to curb them is crucial to minimize trouble. Kimbe Town Mayor Robin Kauba Esakia said this when addressing the people of West New Britain. He challenged them to get involved in various resource projects in the province.
Despite having various important resources in the province, West New Britain Town Mayor Robin Kauba Esakia says the rise in law and order issues continues to be a problem for them. These law and order issues includes armed robberies, hold-ups and killings amongst others.
Why you got plenty law and order when we are rich with resources? We have marine resources, we have land resources, we have forest resources, mineral resources, plenty full of stuff. But yet, we are poor, now you got law and order problems in general.
Being vocal about change, the town mayor says it is time the people of West New Britain to put hands together to toil for a change.
It is about time you put your hands in the soil, dig the soil, be sweat and make your own money so that you don't get yourself in law and order problems.
On a similar matter, Governor for Jiwaka Dr. William Tongab reiterated that law and order is a problem faced everywhere in the country. He says federal police must come into the country to help fix law and order issues.
Sydney before all drug lords all gang all take over Sydney, all Australia go na carrying all British police come now all fix them Sydney now Australia and now all sit down. Singapore working. Singapore and before druggies now, all criminals pull up. President Nolan contracting all British police camera and fixing law and all Singapore and Singapore today the gateway in the world and all stuff. Yeah? So some countries are working in the world.
Podivai National EMTV News.
Papua New Guinea is known for its cultural diversity. Over the years, however, the authority responsible, the National Cultural Commission, has been operating without a policy. NCC's Executive Director, Stephen Enom Kilanda, said having a policy is important in order for the NCC to coordinate cultural events and programs around the country. Yesterday, the government agency hosted a consultation forum in Leh to devise a policy.
These are stakeholders in the arts and culture sector in the Momase region. Yesterday, they met in Leh for the National Cultural Policy 2022 to 2032 Consultation Forum. NCC's Executive Director, Stephen Enom Kilanda, said the National Cultural Commission has been operating without a policy, hence developing one would allow them to better manage and coordinate the country's cultural events.
The policy is very important for cultural industry in this country. There must be a guideline in place for us to coordinate all the cultural programs and cultural activities in this country. So it's a big need.
The policy is based on the National Goals and Directive Principle 5, promoting PNG ways, culture and traditions. It aims to link culture and development plans, provide a platform for cultural development partners, and a framework for economic growth in the cultural and creative industries, amongst others. Mr. Kilanda said this policy will pave the way for other documents like the Traditional Knowledge Act and the National Film Policy as well.
This policy will pave the way for us to come up with a Traditional Knowledge Bill that will protect the copyright and piracy and all other issues that we have.
The NCC has been working closely with the Tourism Promotion Authority to develop this policy. Chief Executive Officer Eric Uvovos said this policy is important because there is huge potential for culture as a tourism product.
A very important policy process that will capture all of it. Our arts, our musicians, all of this, these are part of our culture, but they are not being protected by any policy. That is why this is the first step.
The policy will be completed next month before being submitted to the National Executive Council. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
Bus fare increase in Leh, Morbe province remains an issue for commuters. The Road Traffic Authority CEO Nelson Terma said, according to ICCC, the new fares are for new routes, adding that the fare increases in Leh's existing bus routes is illegal.
The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission in Morbe says PNGs in Leh are the only ones not abiding by the ICCC instructions for bus fares. The instruction was only for new routes. However, buses traveling existing routes have increased the fares. Commuters in Leh have raised concerns that buses have been charging extra fees since early this year and have continued with the new fee without the consent of the Transport Board and the Road Traffic Authority in Leh. The Road Traffic Authority CEO Nelson Terma says there are no new routes in Leh and the existing bus fares remain the same.
The RTA only regulates when there's a new route. Then we come up, we negotiate with the ICCC to come, but otherwise in Leh there is no route, no new routes. It's existing fares, so I don't see there's an increase in the fares.
Despite a circular from the ICCC stating other centers with new routes to increase the PNV fares, PNVs in Leh have also increased their fares without any official approval from the ICCC. From the national level, Mr. Terema assures the people in Leh that the Road Traffic Authority in Leh will be working closely with traffic police to get down to PNVs who are overcharging fares to the passengers. RTA CEO also stated that the overcharging of the fares is illegal and PNV bus crews should stop doing it.
The Land Transport Officer, we will enforce it, make sure that the fees set out and approved by ICCC must be implemented all the time. If they come up with a new fares, then that's illegal, and we will come down to the bottom of it to address who is really charging those additional fees. But otherwise, there's no increase in the fees.
Michael Tamtipais, National EMTV News, Leh.
New Power Limited yesterday handed over the last supply of water tanks to Porabada Village to complete their 2021 water tank donation. The water tank donation is part of New Power's corporate responsibility to ensure people living outside the city have access to clean water.
In a small ceremony at Porabada Village recently, New Power External Affairs Manager Wellington Belawa presented the water tank to Porabada Eastward Development Committees. The donation now ends their water tanks donation drive for the year 2021. The donation to this Motuwen coastline began in 2020 under the program Clean Water and Sanitation. The tanks donated are self-help, which means easy installation by the community.
With the tanks, we supply guttering and cement, and our programs are self-help based. So their self-help is to build the tank pads, which are those cement pads. They bring their sand and their labor, and they hook up the gutter. But we supply the materials. We supply all manufactured materials.
In the new method of distribution, communities will not wait for the company to bring in the tanks. However, the village which completes their installation quickly gets a new one delivered to them. So far, they have donated 12 tanks to Porabada Village, including other villages along the coastline using this new distribution method.
2022 for tanks, we changed the process. Now we are telling the councillors, for those who finish early installing their tanks, they can come and we supply them with more. Okay, so we won't wait. So the advantage is those who finish quickly and come and get more, they'll have more tanks rather than waiting for the 3 for the whole year.
The Porabada East community are pleased with the support they are receiving from New Power. But a representative from the committee says with more tanks being received, there are issues, especially with refilling the tanks by the water carts.
Previously, your supply of tanks has created another problem for us indeed. Previously, we had 3 tanks and our lone water cart was able to fill it in one day. Now that we have plenty, we are hearing complaints from people that when are you going to fill our tank? So one is solved, another appears, but we just want you to take it, note it for maybe future management decisions.
Belawa says more projects are on the way in 2022.
The other is a life skill for women, life skills training. Will commence February the 2nd. And the emphasis here, Councillor, is I met with the program partners yesterday, and one observation they had is that I think women start arguing who should be in those trainings, but I think they should sort out their politics before the program organizers come here, because then you spend the 5 days during training. Now the next one for the life skill is the advanced one, so it would be advantageous for those who attended last year, the 20, to come back again to go to the next level.
Mary Ronnie, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina is buying $0.2775 $0.3862 Australian dollars, $0.2390 euro, and 31.23 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee and cocoa closed higher, copper closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, palm oil closed higher, and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. You're watching National EMTV News. Trukai Sports is next. All the details when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The PNG Hunters have officially announced their 26-man playing squad that will travel to Australia and compete in the 2022 Host Plus Cup competition. Head coach Matthew Church announced the squad yesterday and expressed his excitement for the season ahead.
The final PNG Hunters travelling squad has been named. Coach Matthew Church yesterday made the announcement that was later on distributed through a media release. After a challenging pre-season in Papua New Guinea's capital city, Port Moresby, the PNG Hunters are set to travel back to Australia. The team was supposed to have their 2022 season launch yesterday in front of sponsors and stakeholders, but due to a COVID-19 scare in Port Moresby, the players' health and safety took priority, especially close to their scheduled departure to Australia. Instead, the announcement of the 26 players which will be travelling to Australia was released through a media statement. The team is made up of new and returning players and will be based at the High Performance Centre at Runaway Bay in Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. One of the big differences from last year's season is that the team will now have two co-captains, with head coach Matthew Church confirming that Kevin Apo, the vice-captain in last year's season, is stepping up. Alongside last year's captain Ila Alu, the two will now be co-captains of the Hunters in 2022. They will be joined in a leadership group with their vice-captain for this year's season, Brendan Nima. All three players have been dominant voices throughout an encouraging pre-season. This will be the second year that the PNG Hunters have relocated from Papua New Guinea to Runaway Bay on the Gold Coast in order to compete in the Queensland Rugby League competition. Hunters head coach Matthew Church acknowledged the added difficulty but says his squad is motivated to perform. The PNG Hunters' final 2022 official 26-man playing squad is Terry Wapi, Solo Wane, Brendan Nima, Gilmore Paul, Judah Rimbu, Ila Alu, Samuel Yegip, Sylvester Namo, Dilbert Isaac, Jordan Pat, Kevin Apo, Emmanuel Waine, Benji Cott, Matthew Jesse, Liam Joseph, Roderick Tai, Mark Tony, Jamie Mavoko, Casey Dixon, Anthony Warrot, Sherwin Tanabe, Francis Kembis, Kings Taima Pariah, Weza Tenza, Junior Rob and Kitron Laka. The team is currently in hotel quarantine and are expected to depart the shores of Papua New Guinea towards the end of this week. Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports.
That ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. All the details after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. Southern region, Port Moresby, mostly fine with chances of patchy afternoon showers. Partly cloudy periods for Daru. Partly cloudy with brief evening showers for Kerema. Alotau and Popondetta, partly cloudy with few showers. For the Momase region, Leh, partly cloudy with few afternoon showers. Cloudy periods with some showers and possible thunderstorms for Medang. Partly cloudy periods for Wewak, and Vanimo, partly cloudy with brief afternoon showers. New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, showers easing into partly cloudy periods. Cloudy periods with showers for Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul. Kimbe, mostly cloudy with some rain showers. Buka, mostly cloudy with showers and possible thunderstorms. For the Highlands region, all centers, cloudy periods with some showers.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And before we go, the PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority is preparing to open its new fully fledged Highlands Regional Office tomorrow at Kagamuga International Airport in Mount Hagen, Western Highlands Province. Previously, a few immigration officers have been operating in their provincial office in Mount Hagen. This will now be upgraded to a regional status. This is the second regional office in the country for ICA after a similar office was opened in Lae recently. And we talked to Stanis Hulahau, the CEO, Chief Migration Officer for the ICA.
Our people of Papua New Guinea and our people of Highlands region, especially Western Highlands, we are here this afternoon, myself as the Chief Migration Officer and our Minister for Immigration and Border Security, Honorable Wesley Nukundi Nukuns. So the purpose why we arrived this afternoon is to launch our PNG Immigration Office, our regional office tomorrow. We had a small operation here before, but under our leadership, Minister and myself, we would like to look at decentralizing some of the vital services that we currently have at Waigani. Services like the processing of passports, processing of visa, processing of work permits as well. So it costs a lot of money for our people to travel from Western Highlands or from Hagen down to Port Moresby to process a passport. So under our good minister's leadership and myself, we thought the best thing to do is for us to now create what we call a regional hub. So we have started the program in Lae, and so tomorrow's launching is a replica of what is happening in Lae. We will, with the launching tomorrow, we will now be able to deploy capability and deploy resources in terms of staff and technical expertise to now be able to process passports here in our office in Western Highlands. And we also, apart from that, we also look at having the presence of PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority in the region, noting full well that Highlands holds some of the key and important projects in the country, notably the projects in the oil and gas sector, like the LNG project in Hela, Pogara. So a number of all these activities attracts foreign nationals to come and work in our country, especially in the Highlands region. So we are also looking at beefing up our enforcement capability, beefing up our compliance capability as well. So apart from delivering main services in the areas of passport, visa, and work permit, we will also have more spot check operations. So let me sound this warning to you illegals out there, foreign aliens who are operating illegally in Western Highlands and the Highlands region as well. Your days are numbered. We are coming for you. So you need to voluntarily come forward and start to own up and tell us that you are illegally in the country and for us to regularize your status. Otherwise, you know what will happen to you, and we are coming for you. Thank you.
And that's the news, sports and weather for today, Thursday, 27th of January 2022. I'm Kilawani. Have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.